Hi, welcome to Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 113 coming at you. Epic San Francisco trip that we get to hear about. The Detroit Lions on fire. And the top 10 teams in the NFL ranked by me, the smart one, Tal, and Isaac, the slightly slower one.
Dude, okay, good start.
Good start. Quick off the top stuff. Baseball playoffs. I'm not sure. There's a fair amount of controversy about the new format because all the favorites are losing. Comments on that?
I'm not super educated on it. Look, October baseball is great. I love it. Playoff baseball is fantastic. New format's cool. Upsets are good. It's good for baseball, other than if you're a fan of the favorite team that loses. But I don't feel super strongly. I just will watch whatever October baseball is there.
Yeah, sorry about your luck, Dodgers. You win all the time. Sorry about your luck, Atlanta.
I don't care about the teams
Solid
that have
team.
a cap that just spend like $330 million on a payroll. I don't care about those teams. I care about the Baltimores. It would have been nice to see Baltimore go on, but
True.
It's okay.
Okay. Shout out to Coach Rob. Thanks very much for last episode. Lots of good feedback of Coach Rob. The fans like him, eh?
I didn't hear any of the good feedback.
Yeah,
Just
I
kidding.
got some good feedback.
Coach Rob's my guy. Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Chet versus Victor. The NBA is ramping up, and there's good exhibition stuff. Chet and Victor are going to be a lot of fun to watch the next decade. Did you catch some of that?
Well, I watched all of Wembenyama. If you're a basketball fan, but you're not really watching preseason, I totally get it. Spend 2 minutes and watch Wemby's tape versus Miami specifically.
Yes.
Because that's where, I was talking to Coach Rob actually about it today, that's where you see him operating like the pick and roll facilitator. He's got the biggest defensive presence you'll ever see.
He sets a little pick at the 3-point line, and then he just points, and then they just dunk over him. And
Yeah, so he called for an alley-oop at the 3-point line. And then he dunked outside of the restricted area with his offhand. And then he was facilitating off the pick and roll. And then he's hitting like these 18-foot fadeaways, which he didn't really shoot a ton.
yeah, step back, take a shot, take a side to the left.
Just watch 2 minutes of Wemby.
And then the dunk over Bryant was actually really good too.
Yeah. That was outside the restricted zone where he just you don't see guys do that. Like you see him go up and you're like, oh, is it going to be a little baby hook? But is like in Space Jam when Michael Jordan's arm just extended to the rim.
Yes.
That's what Wemby does. That's
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
Watch 2 minutes of Wembenyama.
In future episodes, we'll be talking more about the NBA, but now it's heavy football stuff. Sorry, one more minute about the Pistons. Is Ivy really going to be the sixth man?
Unlikely, but it's a possibility.
Okay. Red Wings lost to New Jersey in the first game, but I think they're going to be pretty solid. They've got some depth. They're going to make the playoffs.
Okay, yeah, you've read up a lot on the Wings. Come on, bro.
A little bit.
No, I was talking to a Leafs fan last night. I was talking to Nate Gray, and Nate Gray said the Wings are going to be good. They've gotten better, but they're probably not going to make the wild card. He says they're just outside. And that's all I got on the Wings. That's all I know.
Tigers, please spend money
I took this
wisely. No, you didn't. I printed this before Isaac did the edits, so this is good. And let Erod go. I'm tired of your stuff.
I disagree, but we're not even going to talk about that because no one cares here. And Erod's family's not even listening, probably. They're just going to yell at him.
Mrs. Erod is pissed at us.
Anything else?
Yeah, Michigan. We just finished a Michigan game. They're top 2 team in the country for sure. Just beat down on Indiana. I have a question for you. Is there a possibility that JJ comes back? JJ McCarthy.
Comes back next year?
Yeah.
Can we focus on this year? That's a stupid thing to discuss right now. Let's focus on this year, and let's focus on Ohio State November 25th.
Okay, well, let's beat Penn State. Let's beat Ohio State, and then what happens when we go to the Final Four?
Sure. We just finished the Michigan game. We'll say they're top 5, and they're top 2, and they're not 2. Who said that? What rapper said that?
Travis.
Nope. Good guess. Who else? Give me a couple more. You should be able to know.
Offset.
Nope. Close. We're going to talk about him soon. Give me one big name. A big name.
Kendrick?
No.
Drake.
Yes. That's
Nice.
Drake's bar. Okay. Segue.
My depth doesn't go terribly far.
It's
on
okay.
Those guys.
Segue. Drake just dropped an album. Tal, thoughts on the album?
I haven't listened to him, but I understand that he's going to take some time off, and there's a bit of controversy surrounding the time off that he's taking.
Mid-album, respectfully to Drake, but that's okay because he's still the man. Offset drop. Thoughts on the Offset drop?
I heard that's really good. So it dropped on Thursday night at midnight. Now, I was up till about 11:55 p.m., so I just missed it. We all know, fans of the show, realize that I was probably up for my first pee at around 11:55.
Yeah.
So I missed it.
Yeah, you go to bed at 8 p.m.
No, I go to bed like well after 9 most times.
But you say that like it's impressive. You're like, oh, actually, like we shouldn't be impressed. We should
Actually,
be like,
most of the time this week, there was a 10 on the clock when I went to bed.
Wow, that's so good.
It's big.
Offset album's great. Drake's album's not good. I talked about Wemby. I figured this out now. So Colorado is playing on Friday night.
Yeah.
They were up 29-0 at halftime at home to Stanford and lost, and they blew it. People really aren't talking about that. That's like, I know Dion's doing a lot, and I'm still rooting for them, and they're very good for the sport. But like, is that like that's got to be one of the worst losses?
That's a terrible loss
for Colorado for college football this year. That's a big deal.
Right?
Double
They
overtime.
maybe could have eked back into the top 25 depending on other teams' losses, and now people are like, "Who cares about Colorado?"
You gave up 46 points to Stanford.
They need that notoriety. They need attention in order to bring recruits there, and being behind by 29, like he's got all sorts of like big time people coming to the sidelines and cheering him on. And it doesn't help.
And Kawhi Leonard. Leonard won't even go to Clippers games, and he went to the Colorado game.
Yeah.
Good job, Kawhi.
Is that load management? I don't know.
For real. Okay, I'll let you cue up San Fran right now.
Okay, so San Fran, it's a cool city. It's one that I've been to many times in my life. And Isaac and Braeden's kind of like Chudner family, almost Braeden. They, about a month ago, were talking about all the different options and looking at where they can go. It's the October fall break, reading week, slack week thingy. So they got a cheap flight to San Fran. I'm like, that's an awesome city to go to. So Isaac, Braeden left Saturday morning pretty early, got back Tuesday night, hit the big ones. Why don't we talk about your experience at the Warriors game first, please?
Yeah, sure. It's preseason opener, Warriors versus Lakers. I just say Chase Center where the Warriors now play instead of Oracle. One of the nicer, maybe the nicest arena I've ever been in. And the area outside, lots of San Francisco money poured into that area. I will say we didn't really fit in, and to add to that, we went to scalp. We didn't see one scalper. I'm not saying like we saw one guy scalping. We saw 0 people outside scalping, so we had to buy them online. We got a good deal, but still, the usher. So we sneak around.
So fans of the show that are from San Francisco, tell us: is there never scalpers at the game?
I don't think so, because we talked to a few people and they kind of like looked at us like we were speaking a different language, and like we're from Detroit, like that's kind of how we scalp. They didn't really get that, so we snuck around a bit as we do into the lower level, as some do. And the usher, this is really good. This is props for Braeden here. So I've kind of trained him after you've trained me. The usher asked for tickets, and we had tickets, but let's say they weren't in the lower deck. They may have been in the upper deck.
So the default line when you're in that situation is, sorry, mom's got the tickets or wife's got the tickets. If she's in the washroom, she'll be a little bit. But that's probably tougher if there's 2 of you there and there's not another seat.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people at the game. So Braeden had the tickets on his phone. He just kind of started stuttering and just like, and he was just like on his phone, fumbling on his phone until, like for probably 10 seconds, until the usher folded and said, "Are they section 129? And at that point, we're like, yes, they are section 129. Oh, great. Then find your seats. We're like, sweet. Perfect. So that's a new strategy. Just mumble until the usher is like, oh.
Like mumble slightly nervous or like mumble relaxed brain nervous?
No, mumble confused. Just like, and then the usher just said, take your seat. So that was cool.
Okay.
We jumped around seats. This is good. So there's like 6 ticket people per section. It's hardcore.
Wow.
Because it's brand new. They have so much money into the stadium. Of course, they have all these ticket people.
Is this the second year it's been open?
I don't know, second or third. I'm not really sure. First with Chris Paul, I will say.
Okay.
Chris Paul looked good with Golden State. That aside. So we jumped around seats. There was some controversy in front of us where a dude was in the wrong seat. And I guess the ushers found this out. And 3 ushers came to kick him out, including some dude not in an usher outfit. You had 2 ushers and a dude not in an usher outfit.
Like security dude or?
I think like usher manager.
Yeah.
And it was a very like, hey,
not
hey,
Usher the rapper.
No, bro. Usher, hey, you're coming with me. You're coming with me. So they escort this guy out and make a big scene. We think he may have been publicly executed in the concourse.
Whoa.
Yeah, it might have happened
That's
if you
intense.
read about it.
I didn't think they still did that in California.
Yeah.
They're a little left.
Like they ripped this guy out of his seat and made it like everyone in the section recognized what was happening, and we're the row behind them, kind of freaking out. Like we're next. We're
freaking out on the inside, and the outside cool as a cucumber.
Oh yeah, because these are our seats.
Yeah.
So that's
Section
what I got
129, right? Yeah.
I didn't write down notes on the game other than really cool seeing Steph, Clay, my guy Kevon Looney, Andrew Wiggins, Chris Paul looked really good. Any thoughts on that bit there? Anything?
No, that was good.
Okay. What else do you want to hear about? You want to hear about football?
Football, 49ers game, right? 49ers are awesome. So how was it, again, they did the road trip, planned hotel.
Road trip, we flew.
Oh,
right?
yeah, flew.
Yeah.
Flight, hotel. And everything else is, we'll figure it out. Which I think is a fine way to do it. Most people don't like that. Is Braeden comfortable with that now?
Yeah.
Nice.
We're extremists,
Nice.
respectfully, in this regard. So, Cowboys 49ers, like an hour and a half of public transportation through Oakland. Not an awesome part of Oakland at a point, but that's fine. Not a lot of scalpers at the 49ers game. Again, if you're going to a San Francisco 49ers game, they're now in Santa Clara. It's a very new, like a 10-year-old stadium. Very nice. Not a lot of scalpers. We wanted to scalp. We just, the night before, we folded and got a pretty good deal on tickets. We tried to talk to, they had a couple scalpers. We tried to talk to them. Not very happy with us. Very mean. I will say we started in the lower level. The dude next to us, we kind of befriended, and he's like, where are y'all seats? And we told him where they are, and he told us that we were in $1,500 seats.
$1,500 each.
Each. Because it was an expensive game.
That's some serious cheese.
This is like row 15, 30-yard line-ish. About is that?
And they're playing the Cowboys, right? So it's a big game.
Sunday Night Football against Dallas, so I get it. We got kicked out of there, obviously. And then we kind of bounced around lower deck, and then standing room for a bit, then upper deck. We just kind of went all over the stadium. And it was great. And we got enough of the game where it was like, oh, we saw some sweet football. And then it was like, oh, let's go up upper deck. We saw a pretty big brawl. I told you about this.
Yeah, but the fans you didn't tell about.
Yeah. So we've got about 8 to 10 dudes is where we're at, maybe 8 to 12. You got a mix. There's two teams. Team 1 is 50 to 58-year-old fat dudes, and then 14 to 17-year-old punks were the two teams.
Okay, that's interesting.
One had beers, one didn't. One could run, one couldn't, right? So you've got just a really good...
But the 50-year-olds, they've got heft. For sure. They're middle linebackers.
Yeah.
Like D tackles or
fullback, maybe.
Fullback.
So you've got just like...
Against wide receivers and cornerbacks.
Yeah, speed guys.
Okay.
Just an awesome brawl. Beers thrown, shirts ripped. 55-year-olds, big guys, hitting the ground hard, like you could feel it. And this is kind of right in front of us.
You hear the bodies smack on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, for real.
But are they getting back up and throwing some more?
Some until the cops came. There's like like if there was 10 dudes, there was 30 cops because they just kept flooding in because this was a big deal. And I will say my experience with the fight, I'm kind of always ready for this. Just to like witness. I'm not gonna get involved, but I just want to see.
No. It's interesting.
So we're going up to our upper deck and we see 3 police officers, like not security, police officers in front of us going pretty quickly. So I just start matching their speed, go with the flow of traffic. So I kind of go right behind them.
They're fullbacks. There are 3 fullbacks.
And then
pretty easy to go behind them.
We got a police escort into the fight, and then everyone kind of backed up. And Braeden, the way he described it to me was, I just kind of stood like where the fight was happening. But just looked aimlessly, just kind of looked like around as if I didn't know what was happening. And then, everyone, because you space out, and I knew I was fine because I was still behind. Like I'm not involved. I was just I was behind the police, and they didn't recognize I was there because I was just I kind of had a visible cloak on. So fantastic fight. Braeden described it as circus-like. It was really entertaining.
So did the old dudes win or the young dudes win?
I would say the old dudes won.
Nice, but heavy damage was inflicted.
Yeah, this might be a retirement fight for them. I don't know if they're coming back next week. It was a really good fight. I made a shirt. Briefly, I'll explain this. I didn't want to buy a $40 shirt in the stadium. No one was selling outside. So I wore a Pistons shirt, and then I went
Bad Boys, original.
Yeah.
Old guy shirt, from the late 80s.
And they've got the guest services with the nice people there. I just said, hey, do you have anything for first-time fans? I said, we have pictures for kids. And I said, I'll take a picture. So at halftime, I colored the picture, and I asked for tape to tape it to me, and they said we don't have tape, but they had pins. So I pinned. I'll post a picture. Yep. I pinned it to my shirt. It was cool. It looked really good, I think. So that's what I got on. It was a great game. We'll talk about the Niners and maybe
for those people that don't follow us on Instagram, you should because we're a good follow. The Truth with T and I.
Yeah, it's a good follow. Okay, so any questions about football, fights, shirts?
No, covered well.
Okay, thank you.
I think we need to talk about The Rock.
Sure, Alcatraz. I just wrote down Alcatraz.
So those people that don't know about Alcatraz, it was one of the most famous prisons in the United States, closed in the early 60s, partially because some dudes escaped from Alcatraz, right? The unescapable prison, but dudes got out, so then it was left isolated or left, I don't know, just to rot. Some indigenous Americans took it over for a while, and then in the 70s, it's just been like a tourist destination.
Correct. Yeah, they've shot some movies on it, and then now it's just a tourist attraction. And it's not that expensive. So we went to Alcatraz.
Yeah, it's like $15 or something.
Well, like we paid like $45, and that's 2 ferries plus infinite time on Alcatraz, because you can stay as long as you want. Alcatraz was very, very cool. I will say that if you want to talk about safety and not being safe, the people going to the Alcatraz tour, we felt pretty safe around. Streets,
because there are a bunch of like
really be nice,
but pasty white people with Dockers and collared shirts on.
Yeah, more or less.
A lot of penny loafers, that kind of stuff.
A lot of pasty people.
Yeah,
and we're dressed like as if we're going to the gym, right? Like we're in like athletic shorts and like a t-shirt or a hoodie.
Not a lot of buttons or zippers to be seen on you guys.
No, so Alcatraz is cool. I just will say airports, you see a lot of funny people in airports.
Airports are awesome.
So airports, we had a couple good experiences there. Public transportation cheated that system for like the whole trip until we caught some hero at the end who recognized we were cheating. Basically, each person needs a card to go from bus to bus, that kind of thing. We had one.
Like a transfer?
No. Like to tap in and tap out.
Got it. Okay.
You need a card registered to you. That's how they kind of make it safer. They have to make it like this formal thing. We just had one ticket for 2 of us, so we just been doing a fake scan and going 2 for 1s. Some guy caught on at the end, was not happy with us. We got punished a little bit. I didn't tell you that part. We got in trouble. It's okay though.
What are they gonna do? Arrest you?
Well, there were cops there, but they were cool. It's all good. We gave them a nod of respect.
2 nice Canadians? Like,
yeah. That's it. So Golden Gate Bridge, that was super cool.
Yeah, you rented bikes, biked around, saw the city.
Yeah. Just biked on the bridge. Good deal, cheap, very cool. What do you have something to say?
So yeah, one of the funny things about traveling is food when you do like travel trips are always interesting, especially if like the women aren't on the trip.
Be nice, dude.
It's true. Like if we're going someplace with mom, you're going to sit down and you use at least 2 different pieces of cutlery. I said to Daniela / mom, I said 2.5 forks over under for the entire weekend or the entire 4 days. I took the under, but the problem is you used a fork every breakfast.
And there's free breakfast.
Yeah, free breakfast. And then they did the 5-finger discount, which is a good one.
I will explain that. So it's free breakfast, and we want to say
these are helpful travel tips.
Yeah. So it's like to-go bagels. We should make a bagel for later. Oh, good idea.
What would Mr. Radigan do? He would like take a couple of hard-boiled eggs. That'd be his lunch.
Just toss them in. Unfortunately, they don't have any bags, but they had gloves.
Worker gloves.
Yeah, like worker gloves.
Yeah.
So what we did is we commandeered said gloves, stretched them out, and just made bags. So we're shoving muffins in, Dunkaroos, bagels, anything you could think of. We were just shoving in these gloves, which we made bags.
Fruit, bananas.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the plates. And what they do is you get a plate and you just put all the food on it. But if you put a napkin on it, no one will see it. Nope. It's like a cloak of invisibility.
Same thing as at the fight.
Exactly. You just put the napkin on it. But like if you take the napkin off, everyone in the breakfast area will see. I'll also say people in the breakfast area, very funny. Because we had days where we were there at like 6:30 a.m. And then we had days where they're like 10 minutes before close. And the contrast in groups you see at the 2 breakfast times.
Oh, the early times. Those are button downs. Those are people on business trips.
Zippers in their pants and whatnot.
Yeah, the whole deal.
Then the 9:50 when you close at 10.
Sweatpants.
Like on a good day.
And some biggins.
Stop. In-N-Out. I had an In-N-Out burger.
So
That's
good.
a big deal, apparently.
Yeah, it is.
It's good. It's not great. Like, it's a good burger.
What a burger? Have you ever had those?
I don't know what that is, dude.
What a burger.
Yeah, I don't...
U.S., I think mostly southern U.S.
Okay. We're not going there anytime.
How did San Francisco compare to other trips like Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, Cincy, places like that?
Last thing, we rented bird scooters. Incredibly dangerous.
Just scooters or the bikes?
But we rented bikes to bike, and then we rented scooters because we were kind of late one time and we wanted to book it. Because you can use their motorcycles with no helmets.
Oh yeah, they fly.
And San Francisco is lots of downhill.
Yeah, so in San Francisco, they pretty much just like give you body armor when you rent the bird scooters.
Yeah, and lots of one-ways. So I will say we ended up on the wrong side of some one-ways with these scooters going downhill. Like it was not super safe, but we made it. Okay, so you talk about other trips.
Yeah.
Most recent trip for me was New York. the contrast between the New York population and the San Francisco population is fascinating. Do you have any predictions on what I'm going to say?
I think New York is a much friendlier city than people have the perception of.
So New Yorkers are trying to help you. Every New Yorker you see is trying to help you.
You pull out a map and you get help within 2.3 seconds.
Or if you're scamming the subway system, they're gonna just do it with you, and they're gonna you're good, man. They're gonna help you. Everyone's looking out for you. It's very evident in the Spider-Man films, for real.
Yeah.
Like in the old Spidey movies.
You mess with us, you mess with everybody. That one.
Like when Toby's on the bus, and it's like if you want to get through him, you gotta get through me. Yeah. And it's Joey Diaz, and there's the New Yorkers are helping you, and they're trying to help you. San Francisco people are out to get you. You've got a lot of people playing hero ball, not trying to help you, and we recognize that. But then you've got some heroes, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm actually from New York. It's like, oh, that makes sense, dude.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That happened a couple times.
Yeah.
San Francisco people are not rooting for you. That was just something that we saw. They are not rooting for our success. They're preying on our downfall. But great city, very, very fun city. Lots of cool stuff. Thoughts?
Right. Well, thanks for the synopsis of the San Francisco trip. So, folks, put it on your list if you haven't been there.
Yeah.
Again, more flying trip or road trip tips, please reach out to the Truth with Tal Isaac. We've done a few.
Yeah, we're pretty cracked at it, respectfully.
Yeah, we're good at it.
Okay, let's talk about the Lions one.
The Lions crush Carolina. I think people need to remember the second last game of the season last year, Detroit was on a roll. And they fly into Carolina and just get run over and beaten like a rug.
The corpse of Deontay Foreman ran for about 200 yards.
Yeah. So the Lions showed off their depth, their maturity. A big W. And it wasn't even close. Like they were just beating Carolina like a drum. So very nice job. Montgomery, props, looked good. But offensive line needs to get a lot of credit as well. Passing game, Josh Reynolds and Jack Laporta. Hashtag
Who's
baby
Jack
Gronk.
Laporta, bruh?
What's the?
You mixing up the two crackers from Iowa. You have Jack Campbell and you have Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta. That's
Golly,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So anyway, well, his name is Baby Gronk, anyways, because
Yes.
Gronk loves him and Bill Simmons loves him and everybody's good. But Goff is just making good plays, like just solid.
I thought I saw Jared Goff at Trader Joe's today. Side quest.
Was it him?
Well, he had a Lions hat on, so he was definitely tapping into it. It wasn't actually him. But if I was like, yo, Jared, he would have recognized what he was doing. Like he looked like Ryan Gosling, Jared Goffey.
You know what? When Dante was younger, so Dante is my brother-in-law and Isaac's uncle. Big, tall, athletic, bald dude. So we tried to pass him off as some athletes on occasion. We should try and do that for you a little bit more. You need to put on like a little bit of muscle, and then we'll try and say, oh my gosh, is that such and such? Like,
Okay, figure out an athlete.
yeah,
and then
Sam Fox.
Jack Fox.
Jack Fox.
Just talk about the Lions game.
Yeah, okay. Aiden Hutchinson. Oh my God, what a sick interception. That was crazy.
Yeah.
We were in the bubble, so I need to give credit to Sue Lightning and Uncle Dan for keeping us in the bubble. But rarely do you see such an athletic defensive lineman. I'm so happy they've got him.
Yeah, Hutchinson. I don't have it. Keep going on the game.
Who was picked
Hutchinson.
first last year?
Trayvon Walker.
How's he doing?
Okay, not great.
He's poop.
He's not poop. He's
invisible. He's got an invisibility cloak on him.
He's a developmental
And Hutch is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Aiden Hutchinson. Aleem McNeil. Did I say that right?
Aleem with an M.
Aleem McNeil. I think I did that well.
He's good now.
He's good.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, they're probably playing him a little too much, but we'll take it. D-line linebackers held strong. Bryce Young, does he take like the little car into work that Kyler Murray takes as well?
Stop. You can't.
Can't say that?
I think you can.
Well, he could be classified as a little person.
Dude, Bryce Young. I people are worried about Bryce Young, especially because Stroud looks awesome.
Stroud looks so good.
And Anthony Richardson. I really liked what I've seen from Anthony Richardson. And then you've kind of got Bryce Young here in a bad situation with like no help. It's a little reminiscent of the Fields Chicago thing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where you saw flashes in Fields, but the team was awful and they had no help.
There have not been very many good flashes for Bryce Young.
There's been a couple, but yeah, but he's not
Talking
looking
about
great.
body hitting the concrete, he's hitting the turf hard.
Okay.
Shout out Ben Johnson. The triple reverse pitch back to Goff for the touchdown pass to Sam Laporta. That was sweet. 4 hours later, San Francisco ran the same play.
Yeah, so
They looked at that and it's like, let's run that play.
For real, because we were at I didn't watch the whole Lions game. I was traveling. Like, we caught bits in here, and I watched the highlights, obviously. But we saw a couple plays live. We saw that play live, and then we saw it in San Francisco 4 hours later, and we're like, wait, does that? And then we pull up Twitter, and like it was the exact same play design. So that was cool to see.
Did the people in the stands recognize that as quickly as you guys did?
No, because we were probably the only Lions fans there out of the 60,000 or whatever.
Probably.
So, yeah.
The snap between Goff's legs right to Montgomery, awesome. I'd never seen that before.
I missed that, caught up on it. Very cool.
So good. I just need a question about the Lions are for real. In the next segment, we'll actually talk about how for real they are. Who do they get in trades? Who do they go after?
So you're looking at edge is kind of where most of the buzz is.
Yep.
Brian Burns. I don't think a Max Crosby.
They're not going to trade Brian Burns.
Carolina might trade him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't he like star guy? Like he's awesome.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay him. They could have got like 2 firsts for him last year. So he is out there. Burns, they're saying. Who else? Like there's a
Danielle
couple.
Hunter from Minnesota. I'm not sure is going to trade into a division.
There's another edge that's kind of being shopped.
Chase
too.
Young, the guy from Washington. There's been discussion about that.
For 3 years. They might, if they go after anybody, I think it'll be edge.
Or it could be a cornerback, right? They've lost a couple guys.
It would be nice to see a corner. I don't know who's on the corner market. There's a lot of receivers out there. I don't think they'll go after a receiver.
I don't think they need a receiver.
And there's talk about trading JMO.
That's not real talk, is it?
There are some legit trades to Carolina because Bryce Young and JMO played together in college and were great together. And if Burns is out there, then you've got each team with a need. I don't want to trade JMO at all. I think it would be terrible asset management. But like I saw a legit rumor it was JMO and a pick for Burns and a pick.
But it was like JMO and a 6 for Burns and a 7th or something.
I think we're giving up a higher pick, like a day 1, day 2, maybe day 2 pick. I don't want to trade JMO at all. I just do not. I'm still on JMO.
Okay, let's just talk about the game tomorrow. So we're taping this Saturday night. I'm thinking Isaac's probably going to drop this Sunday morning. Is Baker Mayfield for real?
He's pesky. That's how I like to describe him. I think he's very pesky.
Like Nick Foles pesky? Can go on a run?
No, I wouldn't call Nick Foles pesky.
Gardner Minshew pesky?
I like Gardner.
Okay.
Look, Baker does scare me a bit. Like he does. But then if you remember last year when Baker needed to win and it was Rams Seahawks, I think, last game of the season.
Then he got pasted.
And Baker just like it looked like he bet against him. It was unbelievable how poorly he played. I'd like to see that Baker Mayfield. Tampa's pretty good.
Tampa is pretty solid. Listen, they still have some guys from the holdover Brady days, like some really solid guys on D. I know you don't like Evans, the wide receiver, but he's solid and he was dinged up 2 weeks ago, but he's healthy again.
It's the spread's down to 3 with all the injuries for the Lions. Spread's down to 3.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, Branch is out and Gibbs are out for sure. Johnny Jackson, those are, I guess, the 3 significant guys.
Laporta questionable.
He's playing.
Okay, you talked to him?
No, I talked to Gronk, and Gronk told me that baby Gronk is playing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we need Laporta out there, man. So that'd be good.
Yep.
I'll make sure I post this before the game because we just talked about it. So
we did.
Thanks for that.
Okay. Anything else about the game, tomorrow's game?
No, I'm nervous. We just got to keep winning.
Keep winning. And this shows you how much the Lions have grown. Shout out Ken Stewart because he's like, the Lions are they don't play all the games at 1 o'clock now. So last year, the only game they didn't play at 1 o'clock, they played at 12:30, which was the Thanksgiving game. This year, there's 2 Thursday night games. Now they've been flexed to 4 o'clock. They have one either Sunday night game or Monday night game.
We've got Monday night Raiders at the end of the month. Yeah.
Okay. End of October?
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, and Raiders hopefully are poop still.
Hunter Renfrow, Kansas City. Just putting that out there. I like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Can we talk about other football teams now?
Well, why don't we wait until we get to the NFL top 10 teams?
So what are we talking about now, though?
I think we should talk about the NFL top 10 teams.
Rock. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so Isaac and I each prepared our own list. Isaac's list might have some holes in it. Oh, I just threw the pen. Sorry. I talk with my hands. If you're listening to us, that's fine. But if you'd like a little more entertainment and to see our snappy outfits, you should go on YouTube.
Just talk about the teams. The best team in football is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, San Francisco 49ers. Super deep, both sides of the ball. Lots of athletes. Pretty super solid. And Sam Darnold will play the role of Nick Foles. You're going to hear that. You're here to hear first.
That's stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
Brock Purdy is good.
I know Brock Purdy's good, but he's going to get dinged up And Sam Darnold is going to play
stop.
hero and help him.
So their biggest weakness is Purdy. Everyone kind of knew that. He's looked really.
Yeah, I don't think he's a weakness.
That's the thing. He looked really good this year at Dallas. There was one driver. He made 4 throws in a row that were tight windows within.
I mean,
three
against
dudes.
Dallas, who's that San Fran?
Yeah. Looked phenomenal. And I will say the San Francisco fans are obsessed with Purdy. The amount of Purdy jerseys and shirts around the stadium.
Wow.
Crazy high. They love him. They love this guy. Okay. And I get it because they're paying him $800K a year and he's the man.
I didn't hear what the dollar amount was, but the amount of wins for Purdy's salary versus the amount of wins per Deshaun Watson, it's a bit of a difference.
Yes. Purdy's the man. San Francisco's unstoppable. Really afraid of them. But if we're playing them in the NFC Championship game, then I'll be okay with it.
Yep. Okay, number 2.
Probably Philly.
I've got Philly as well.
Go ahead.
Yep. Still the NFC champ. They've not looked super sharp, but they're very deep. Their wide receivers really have started. Both of them have started off pretty slow. I predict that they will make it to the NFC Championship game, but lose to San Fran.
Yeah, I have Philly too. They're a weaker 5-0 for a 5-0 team. They haven't looked great. They haven't looked as good as they did last year, second half. I think.
What's their first round pick? Carter.
The Carters look great.
He's been good.
Carters look great.
Dominican Sue good.
Yes.
Is the comparison.
Third. Who do you have third? Top power rankings.
Casey. Until Mahomes retires.
You have KC third?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's stupid.
Listen.
That's really
Patrick
dumb.
Mahomes is the man. He's Michael Jordan on the football field. Okay, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but he's certainly Magic Johnson on the football field. Until he retires, they're going to be top 3, maybe even top 5 if he's injured, just because he could come back and be good. They need a wide receiver. Obviously, Denver's dumping all their guys. What's his name? Hunter Renfrew, they may pick up. I've got KC making it back. I've got them making it to the AFC Championship game.
I didn't know we were doing playoff predictions in October. If you told me that, I would have prepared mine. I have Miami third.
Okay.
The offense is the best in the league.
The 70 burger is pretty hard to argue with.
Achan out for several weeks. There's a lot of weapons there. There's a lot of speed. I am so in on McDaniel. I think Miami should be ahead of Kansas City in terms of your power rankings. I'll talk about KC in a little bit, but not
sure.
yet.
Actually, I have Miami 4th. 70 burger, just so fast, so deep. Their defense is better than people thought, and their offense is close to historic levels, right?
Correct. So you would think that we have KC and Miami flipped, right?
Correct.
I have the Lions ahead of Kansas City, and I don't think it's stupid.
Okay, so you have the Lions at 4?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Look,
okay.
I'm not going to
back it up.
I'm not going to put the team that I beat up on Thursday Night Football ahead of the Lions. That doesn't make any sense. The Lions dropped one game to a good team. They lost to Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle just has a witch's spell over them.
I'm going to talk about Seattle.
They're going to lose that.
The Lions are coming off their most dominant performance, not their biggest win, but they looked the best they have all year against Carolina. I thought you would have them high. I thought you were going to have them 2.
I'm a homer. I don't think that's a big secret, but this top 10 is likely going to be picked up by ESPN, so I wanted to be very objective.
Okay, I think it's objective to say the Lions have beat the Chiefs this year, and I thus have the Lions ahead of said Chiefs.
Yeah, I see a lot of lists where the Lions are 5th. Actually, I have Buffalo 5th.
Okay.
Full disclosure, I have Detroit 6th. Buffalo starting to settle in. Shout out Uncle Brad. Allen is playing smart. Oh, yeah, Uncle Phil, sorry. Playing smarter, looking good. I think they're going to go for a long run and probably lose to KC in the AFC Championship game.
So I've got 5th here. 4th, because we've just totally fumbled the top 5 because you're just making.
No, I've already listed my top 6. You're just a little slower than me.
I'm on 5 right now.
You're on 5, okay. Correct. So you get to list 2.
Yes. Chiefs look very human. They don't look awesome. The absence of a veteran receiver, you can feel it out there, especially when Kelsey leaves. Kendrick Bourne, Marquise Brown, Darius Slayton, Hunter Renfrow, Juju again, Hardman. They're going to get a receiver. They're going to trade for somebody, a veteran.
I know there's always lots of chatter and usually not a ton of trades. I hope there's a bunch of trades because those are exciting and can really set a number of teams up.
I don't think Mike Evans is going to go to Kansas City. That's what people are mocking. Why would Tampa trade Mike Evans right now? I just don't see that happening. But I see Kansas City getting a receiver. So I have them 5th behind the Lions.
Listen, if Tampa Bay gets their butt kicked by Detroit tomorrow, then I think Tampa then has a pretty tough stretch. If they lose a couple games in a row, then they might decide to trade some assets.
Maybe.
And Evans has got to be 30, right?
I think so. I'm
31
not an
maybe.
Evans guy. Bill 6. Bill 6 here.
Okay.
Injuries are piling up,
They've lost some guys on D.
which is tough.
Yeah.
But Allen is looking better than he's a little less hero ball for Allen. Wish he slid a little more, but I have Buffalo 6.
Okay, so now we're at 7. I've got Dallas at 7, actually. You probably have them a little lower. They still have loads of talent. I just don't think Dak is going to put it together, but Micah Parsons is the best.
What Parsons?
Micah Parsons.
You said Minka, bruh.
No, I didn't. You can't hear me properly. He's the best defender in the NFL.
Yeah, I'd say
He's Defensive Player of the Year.
I'd say so.
So they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to lose in the first round. So I'm happy when Dallas loses. Like, I don't cheer for many teams to lose. I cheer for Dallas to lose.
I don't have Dallas in my top 10.
Ooh. You saw them in person. You saw them get, again, beat like a drum.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me to put Dallas in my top 10 after witnessing them just get manhandled. And they've had a pretty weak schedule. So I have a bit on Seattle. I'll do them later, but remind me to talk about Dallas when I talk about Seattle. Okay? Remember that.
Yep.
So 7, I have Jacksonville here. It's a little high, probably.
Yeah. You've been on Jacksonville all year. They're starting to show some love.
Yeah, thank you. Right on.
They had a good trip to Europe.
Yeah, they did. Jacksonville are my guys. Lots of drops for Trevor.
They must like the fish and chips and the bangers and mash and all that British food.
I like the Jags still. I like the Jags. The Jags. They're fun. Okay, they're my 7. Who's your 8?
I've got Baltimore's 8. I still like Lamar Jackson. He's been a little bit hot and cold, but again, I just don't count Lamar out. They get in the playoffs. They do some damage. But I've got him at 8.
I have Baltimore tied for 10. Spoiler.
Fair enough.
The drops for Lamar, like if you look at the drop percentages and in the red zone, they've had like 8 drops in the red zone. Like it's ridiculous, the bad luck that Lamar
seems
is
the
getting.
only luck that he has is throwing to Andrews.
And Andrews had like 3 drops.
I know, but Andrews is still the guy.
8, I have Tampa Bay at 8. This is probably a little high.
Woo!
I don't think it's that. Is it that high?
That's pretty high.
The defense is good. Their division's terrible.
Baker Mayfield is their quarterback.
Nobody's
their running back.
The division is awful.
True, they might win some games just because they're playing punks.
The schedule is so easy. I think Tampa's good. I think Tampa's pretty good. Maybe I'm just kind of convincing myself that it's okay if the Lions have a tough game.
They can have a tough game, but they have to beat Tampa.
Tampa's good. They're my 8. What do you have 9?
Actually, I have Seattle at 9.
So do I.
Listen, great receivers, great DBs. The question is the Geno Smith bubble going to burst? It's almost a year and a half in, and it has not burst yet. However, it will burst. You heard it here first. They're going to crash and burn. They don't even make the playoffs.
Geno hasn't been great this year.
But pretty good.
He's not been great.
No, not great.
Okay, so I talked about I want Seattle. I saw him beat the Lions week 2 in Detroit. Yeah. And I said I want wild card weekend. I want Seattle back in Detroit at Ford Field. And I've been saying that for a while. And that's kind of where I've been. Because that is very, very possible.
It is a good possibility.
3-6 matchup, 4-5 in Detroit, very possible. I think I have a new thing that I want.
What do you want?
I want Dallas in Detroit wildcard weekend. 2014 rematch.
Well, that's a decent possibility.
Very good. That's why I'm...
Do you think they'll be able to call pass interference against Dallas? Or is that not allowed?
We're going to sign Brandon Pettigrew for a 1-game contract. Perfect. And we're gonna roll him out against Dallas. Look,
he's probably a big fella. He's probably more left tackle.
Give me Dallas wildcard weekend. I've now talked myself. It's very possible. It could very well be one of Seattle or Dallas in Detroit.
Yeah, that's pretty observant, young blood.
Thank you. And that's going to be emotional. Whoever it is. Oh my gosh. If it's Dallas, it will be incredibly emotional.
If it's Seattle, it's going to be incredibly emotional. Listen, I have said this all along. Detroit is a football city. And we're starting to see this now because they're successful. People are Detroit crazy. Everywhere you go, Windsor and Detroit, you see Lions gear, you see people talking about it. Mike K. Cook, shout out to him. He's a huge Lions fan. Like, please, we deserve some love. Lions,
stop, bro.
Sorry, I'm a little hyped here. The Lions deserve some love. The Lions fans deserve a lot of love. Treat us well, please. Okay? We deserve it.
We're talking about Seattle and Dallas, and you just start having an episode.
I just got a little excited.
Okay. I want Dallas or Seattle wildcard weekend.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Who did you have at 9?
Seattle.
We both had Seattle.
Yeah.
So I have Jacksonville at 10, which you obviously had a couple points earlier. They're starting to show some strides. Ridley was a good pickup, right? So what did they give up a first round draft pick for Ridley?
I forget, it was a conditional pick because it was depending on how much more he bet.
Yeah, like the whole JMO bet thing was so ridiculous, and he missed 4 games, whereas Ridley like bet on his own team, like in front of the commissioner, and he lost a season.
Yeah, very different circumstances, but yeah, Jackson was good. Ridley's good. Ridley has been like I was talking about the drops. He's had a couple bad drops, but whatever. 10. I have Chargers and Ravens tied.
Yeah, I knew you had Chargers.
Yeah, I view these.
I had
teams
Jacksonville just beating the Chargers.
Yeah, like but the Chargers. Like, do I think they're great? No. Do I think?
Yeah,
they're
but you
well
love
coached?
Hebo. You've loved him since he walked in the
Herbo.
league.
There's no Hebo. That's not a thing, bro. I like the Chargers a lot, and I like Baltimore a lot. So these are both teams that are like fun and couldn't win against any team, right? Like the Baltimore and Chargers can beat anybody, but they can lose.
I'm very happy Detroit is in the NFC.
Yes,
like you look at these guys, like man, they have big teams and big quarterbacks.
Yeah, the NFC maybe has the best 2 teams in football, and then respectfully, there's a significant drop off.
Then there's a drop.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on Dallas. You have a bit of a take.
No, my take on Dallas was I just want them wild card weekend.
Oh, okay.
That's my take on Dallas. Because I have flashbacks from the 2014 wild card game in Dallas. I have flashbacks. I wake up with a cold sweat and night terrors because of this game.
Jeez.
Okay,
terrible.
I want them in Detroit.
Okay.
I really want
That's a good take. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I think there would be a very cleansing appeal to that game.
Because if Stafford, the Rams won't be in the playoffs, Stafford's going to be in a press box.
Stafford would be in the crowd, and he'll be, oh my gosh, Calvin and Barry, they would be, oh my God, it'd be so exciting.
Barry hates Dallas.
Yeah, Barry hates
Smith
Dallas.
stuff.
Yeah, and
then
Calvin is kind of now back in the fold.
And staff is going to be there just to support the guys. Perhaps we can get Joik Bell back. I'm not I'll have to look at that roster. Maybe DeAndre Levy if he's still up for
get
it.
some guys back.
Get Levy back.
Dominican Sue, by the way, is still an undrafted free agent.
I actually like Sue.
I would like pick him up as a rotation guy.
I've listened to him on some podcasts. He's actually he's kind of come back to earth. I think for real.
He's come back to earth, and he's going to accept an $800,000 rather than $10 million.
No. I don't think he's going to stomp on anyone's arms anymore.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Onwuzurike has been pretty decent, but he's dinged up again, and I think they need some depth.
They're not signing Sue.
There's a possibility we're signing Sue.
Sure.
Let's reach out to him. Okay, for those people that are listening to the show who happen to know either Sue or his agent, reach out to him and said, it's time. Come home. Get this stuff behind you, and let's go.
Okay, anything else to say to the fans?
I do have a couple things to say. So tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, is the marathon, and shout out to Doran. Doran is going to hopefully be on our next show. Big fan of the show. Good dude. He's been here once before. He called in, right? He didn't...
No, Doran was in.
Was he in? Okay.
He's my guy.
He's the guy. So he's actually... We're going to set up a GoPro on him as he runs through the tunnel tomorrow morning. Did you know that?
Is he running tomorrow?
He's running.
Okay, I'll text him.
Yeah. He plays with Isaac on
Yes, he's my friend.
Wednesday night.
Yes, he's my friend.
He might like me more than... He's probably on Team Tal Nation. Dorn, we need you to reach out and say, are you on Team Tal Nation or are you on the Young Punk?
I'm going to text him right now. I'll have to just say bye to the fans. So
I have nothing else. Thanks, fans. We appreciate your support. That's it. Now you stop it.